Ah, it's filming. Good day, my darlings. It's the 31st of December, and tomorrow we will be in 2025. So, I wanted to make this video, which is going to just finish a little bit because we had the second new moon, which is called a black moon, yesterday. I have been doing lots and lots of work to explain these 5 portals. We've gone from 2016 to 2024, which is now the entering into the new kingdom. 8 years is the cycle of the 5-pointed star of Venus. And in 2020, we had the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction on the winter solstice, 21/12. This is Macron's birthday. And at that moment, Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct under the summer triangle. It's the winter solstice, but the summer golden triangle. And that was 4 years ago. So now we have got Saturn that opened. That was in, full COVID. And now we have got Saturn in Aquarius, and Venus today has entered Aquarius. But Venus was yesterday for last night. This night we had Venus still in Capricorn. So Saturn rules Capricorn, Saturn rules Aquarius. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and Taurus is the new summer solstice. And Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius, that will be the new spring equinox. So for the moment, Venus, that every year makes the 5-pointed star, she is very important. She is rising as Lucifer, simply because the pentagram reversed symbolizes the lower unconscious, subject state of consciousness, and upright, it represents an objective, conscious. You've reached heaven, you've reached your higher realm, you've reached the cap. You can put your cap on, you can put you've got your G is L, G is 7, and 7 is the 90-degree angle that we now have between Saturn and Jupiter. So Saturn has been in Aquarius on the Lamb. We've got Venus coming up onto the Lamb. She is going to be on the Lamb for the last door that the Pope will open. So Venus that rules Taurus, and Jupiter that rules Sagittarius, where the sun is now. We had the second new moon, the black moon, last night, right here in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, and we had another new black moon in Scorpio on the 1st of December, which was therefore the home of Mars, the home of Jupiter. Mars and Jupiter, they kill Saint Saturnin. That's Martin, Mars, Jupiter. They kill Saint Saturnin. That's why where I live, the 5-pointed star, Saint Saturnin is the name of the church and the main road. And Saint Saturnin was killed behind a bull, because Jupiter considers himself the king now, as before we are fully, which is about 400, 700 years. I'm going to talk to Lars for the full moon so he can properly tell us. But, this is the gap period until we're fully on the fixed cross. So Jupiter and Mercury, they rule. We've got Mercury bang opposite. We've got Mercury in Scorpio. Mercury and Jupiter, they are on the fixed cross. They're on the horizon in Scorpio and Taurus. Scorpio ruled by Mars. Golden Gates, golden gate here. So Mars and Jupiter, they are currently on the other side of the Milky Way in the silver gates. Jupiter in the home of Venus, and Mars is retrograding back to the home of Mercury, currently in the home of the Moon. And he hasn't been here since 1977. 7-7 makes the 3 angles, and you need the last angle, you need the last leg, and that is what is being made between Saturn and Jupiter, 90 degrees, 9. So we've just had an aeroplane crash as they opened the doors on the 26th. So the Pope opened on the 24th. St. Peter's Basilic, he opened on the 26th. John L. So Jacob's Ladder, John L. Then on the 29th, he opened the prison gates, and I've done extensively long articles that I have made open to all 3 members, where I said that is going to be the big boom. We had this second big plane crash on the 29th as he opens the gates to the prison, to the gangsters. And we've got tomorrow on the 1st, we've got Maria, the 4th gate. And then on the 5th, we have Paul. So Pete, Paul and Jack, as I've always explained. We've got these 3 in the middle. We've got John, we've got Maria, and we've got John, Maria, and John, the prison, and Maria. So the prison is Rabibi. So all that I've gone through in length. So 26 and 29, the 2 plane crashes, one in Kazakhstan, Pakistan, and the other one in South Korea. So we'll be having a look at the pictures afterwards. But this is what's so important, is that this silver gate, we've got the closing of the Ouroboros. So the Pope is 88. This plane that just crashed, 179 people, and the plane was Boeing 737. So 737 is 17, 179 is 17. That makes 88. That makes the 88 constellations, and that makes the age of the Pope, who is opening these 5 doors. We're at 24, Revelation 24. There will be no need of the sun and the moon as we enter the kingdom. So we're going through this Vesica Pisces. L E is 3773. It's the Vesica Pisces. The French Prime Minister, we had Michel Barnier, 73 years old. 90 days later, he was thrown out. The L. And then we have another 73-year-old, Francois Bayou, who represents the center. And now this plane that has crashed, which is 737. It's not the complete. So the triple goddesses are the 2 crescent moons and the new moon, or the full moon in the middle. So that makes your 69, the yin and the yang. The 69 is either the 6, which is the Lover's card. So 51 people were accused of rape of Gisèle Petitcot. G is L. It's the 7th letter, and that makes L. GL. G is the passage. So Gisèle, 51 men accused, and 5-1 is 6, the Lovers. She won her case on the 18th of December as Chris Horner, little Jack Horner, sat in the corner, 51 years old. So we got 666 or 99 and 51. 51 or 15 is both 6, and the devil card is 10-5, which is, it's 15. So 1551 is the 6-6, which are just the corns of the bull. So it's finding that balance, and that's why the Pope's doors that he's opened make the sigil, the 5 doors, the different places makes Lucifer's sigil. And Lucifer's sigil is between full expansion of Jupiter on the mutable cross. So in each of his homes in Pisces and Sagittarius, and the closed sigil of Saturn is when they close in the Twin Peaks, Capricorn and Aquarius, where we have Venus. Venus has just moved from Capricorn, so Saturn rules the Twin Peaks. He closes, but there is a midway ground, there is a break-even point between full expansion of Jupiter to full closure of Saturn, and this kingdom, this sigil, the sigil of Lucifer, because Venus, V, is the ruler of Taurus, of the new summer solstice that we enter, and that is Prince William's birthday, the 21st of the 6th, Macron's birthday, the 21st of the 12th, and we've got a big date coming up for Prince William's birthday. We're going to have Jupiter and the Sun conjunct on the wand, Mercury at home on Sirius. So back to now. So yesterday we had this new moon. Let's look at this new moon again. So we had this new moon. We had this new moon in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter is owning this alchemical wedding of the sun and the moon coming together into his kingdom, opening the gates into 2025, closing Revelation, whatever, 24. There will be no need of the sun and the moon for your lamp. Your lamp shall be lit. We had Julian Assange on the 24th for the first gate, shown in Australia, holding the lamb. So Mercury is now moving forward, and he's in Scorpio opposite Jupiter in Taurus. Venus, the ruler of Taurus, moving here. Oh yeah, and the biggest news is that Uranus entered on the 29th, the day of the crash, entered Algol, the spirit, the 5th element. So Israel. Uranus has been moving over, backwards and forwards under L since 2022. So 2022, Uranus was already under that Algol, and then he moved in May 2024. He moved officially into Taurus, still in Aries here. There we go. He's now in Taurus. And for this new moon on the 29th, for the plane crash, Uranus, so I'll come back to now. Uranus is now in Aries. He's in Aries. So we've also got Chiron. Chiron at the end of Pisces has just gone direct, and Chiron was officially found in 1977 and will make it into Aries since he was discovered to begin a new world. Chiron, the wounded healer. Have you done the inner work? We've had all that generation from 1977 to now of the healers who should take on their roles. So Chiron, Mr. Tumnus, is moving forward. He meets Lucy, Venus, at Narnia, the lamppost, the lamb. And this is exactly where we are. We're in this passage through, and it begins with Taurus, because Taurus is officially on, the sun is in Taurus. The sun at 9 o'clock in the morning is in Taurus and then moves into Gemini later in the day. But it's the first sign of Taurus, is the first sign of the new summer solstice. So what else? So as I've said, we had the Caro line marking the new Cairo line, The Cairo has been closed. The storm in Africa, the Mayotte. So we had this massive 200-kilometer storm, which is called Kai Do. So doe, a deer, a female deer. Roe is a masculine, and it's all about making. So the Carolina floods, we had Mars. We had Mars on Sirius here, and so for Prince William's birthday, we saw we're going to have Mercury here. At that time, for the floods, we had the moon at home in Cancer, and Jupiter was still in Taurus. And now we're going to have, coming up, we've got Mars will be back on Sirius, fully back on Sirius. So for Valentine's Day, I've said it's going to be for Valentine's Day. So 13, 14, 15, Mars is on Sirius and Jupiter is on the bullseye, as Mars was here for Valentine when I was in the floods in New Zealand, for the death of the Queen, for the disappearing of Nicola Bulley. So Nicola Bulley went missing on the 27th of January. You had to call 101, that's the Vesica Pisces, that's the triple goddess, 101. And then Mars, that was in 23. So there's Mars on the bullseye. And then when I was in the floods, my family, they lost everything, their house. Mars was here, as for the Queen's death, as for the falling of Notre Dame. But now Jupiter is here. And it's all about Mars and Jupiter that rule the gateway, the golden gateway, taking over the feminine silver gateway. So they rule the gateway of the sun, the golden triangle. It's winter, yes, but that's why it's all Narnia, the Midnight Express. The winter and the summer are actually the equinox. So now Mars and Jupiter are on the other sides of the Milky Way, on the silver triangle, taking this feminine energy, which is all about Taurus and Cancer. The moon rules Cancer. The moon is exalted in Taurus. And we had Mars in the home of Jupiter, and now Mars is in the home of Cancer, and Jupiter is in the home of the moon. So Mars and Jupiter have fully, between 2022 and now, taken over. We've had all these eclipses, as the North Node is in Pisces, as the South Node is in Virgo. And then we've got more eclipses coming up this spring, and then they will move into the Aquarius Leo, which is the true Sphinx axis. Okay, I just had a little break to fill up my tea. We are in intense, freezing cold fog. It's freezing here, and we had one day off. Everybody's got it. We're going through the Narnia Gap. This is the Narnia Gap. We had one day of a couple of days of sun, but we had a good week of fog, and then 2 days off, and now we're back in this really intense fog. So it's making fires, staying warm. I've got all my babies. We still make sure we go into the forest. I have to stay really strong to keep on top, because it's a lot of work running my house in the cold. So you see this importance. We've got Neptune on the whale's tail. We've got Pluto in Capricorn. We've got Uranus now back in Aries before fully returning to Taurus. So this is Israel. This is the L. So that's why Israel has to be you know, made into such big baddies, everybody hating them, when it's just this marriage back to find that third, you know, that missing L. And we've got Saturn. Something's not working here. And Saturn at home in the true air. So these plane crashes, it's always, you know, to stop people, you know, consciously returning to heaven, to the higher level, to demonize Saturn and to glorify Earth. Is your heart heavier than the feather air? So this is really Narnia. This is really Narnia stuff. We're really in this war between Jupiter's home. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, Jupiter rules Pisces. You gotta get past that full expansion back to the Twin Peaks. You've got to get through the gate of Sagittarius, the gate of Pisces. Okay, so let's look, and before I take you to my recent posts, please, if you're not a member of Patreon, you know, I did a 2-hour 40-minute chat about these 5 portals with Alana. Got onto this full moon, what's this, to last quarter moon catch up, what a ride. So that, and then I've got another video just on yeah, that is very, very, I've got another video just on the 5 portals. So I've clarified what the 3 different tiers represent, what you get for them. You can go and have a look. So €5, you get this video I'm making now. You get 2 written rundowns every 2 weeks. The second tier, you get 4 interviews per month, first quarter, full moon, last quarter. So 3 interviews plus 1 video just for you. So in those interviews, they're also including readings that I do. So I've now got examples of all the readings that I cover, but I'm doing readings every month. And in the last quarter, we are a group of people that we come together every month at the end of the month, and we look at each other's charts. We cover some important point. But basically, you learn a lot. You learn a lot from seeing how I work, and do come along. So let's have a look at these charts. So let's begin with the new moon. With the new moon, got a lot here. New moon, 30th up. So this is what we had last night, and this means that for this month is going to be under the energy of that new moon in Sagittarius. So that new moon is making a square to Uranus that has just entered Aries, is Rael on Algol, Medusa, and Uranus is also making a square to Venus. Venus is here, it says that Venus is already in Aquarius, but it's at the last degree of Capricorn. Pluto is bang opposite Mars. Pluto is at 5 degrees of Capricorn, and Mars is at 7 degrees Cancer. So in 2 degrees, we're going to have exact 5-5. 5-5. So that is, we'll see as we go through the charts when that is. So here's South Node still in Virgo, North Node still in Pisces with conjunct to Neptune, and here is the key, which is rubbing over these last degrees of Pisces before the key comes to Aries. So I always say that the Chi-Rho closes in Pisces. You have the P at the top of the Chi-Rho, the key in the middle, and that is because we've got the key first opened in Sagittarius, the wounded healer, then it went to Virgo, then it went to Gemini, and now it closes here. So if you look, the Chi-Rho is the thing. So at each corner of the mutable cross it mates and it closes now in Pisces to make the Chi-Rho. And it was only discovered in 77, so we've had our first cycle on the mutable cross. So Mars, we've also got this rectangle, which is between a trine from Mars to North Node, a trine from Pluto to South Node, with a little sextile between Mars and South Node and North Node and Pluto. So that's very feminine, nice energy between the high cardinal feminine axis and the mutable feminine axis, with a big cross in the middle, also on the feminine axis, with the opposition of Pluto, Mars, and obviously South Node, North Node. Then we've still got this lovely big T-square, so Jupiter, Saturn square to each other, and at the moment we've got Mercury moving forward opposite. So opposition of Jupiter and Mercury, both square to Saturn. So Jupiter, Mercury, they rule the mutable cross, and they've got every axis of the feminine axis completely. They've got the mutable, the fixed, and the high cardinal. So Saturn, Moon, high cardinal, feminine axis, Mercury, Jupiter, where the head and the tail of the dragon, we're ending the year of the dragon, we're entering the year of the snake, the closing of the Ouroboros, hence 88, the age of the Pope, and the number of people killed in this plane crash, and the name of the plane 737 makes 88. So, and then Mercury and Jupiter, the rulers of the mutable cross in that fixed feminine axis of Venus that rules Taurus and Mars that rules Scorpio. And we have Venus about to enter Aquarius and Mars retrograde on its way back to Gemini. Okay, so tomorrow we've got the fourth door being opened, Saint Maria, and for this fourth door tomorrow, we have got Pluto combust to the moon that rules Cancer, where Mars is, and Mars that rules Scorpio, where Mercury is. So when they rose Notre Dame, we had Venus combust Pluto. So now, to open the door of Maria, so I've got Maria Callas, Mercury is bang on Norma. Maria Callas sings Norma, and this is to birth. This is what I explain. I'm just remembering now, but this is what I explain in all these posts that I've been doing. So this is a post just on the doors. So here you see Uranus is right on that spirit between Aries and Taurus. Pete, Paul and Mary. This is the 5 doors they're making. So Venus and Mercury rule the Silver Gate, Taurus and Gemini, but they also rule this fate merging of all the cardinal and mutable signs, rising Lucifer. So I've been in depth about all this. So that was the first gate. Then we've got Mars on the beehive cluster. So the queen bee, the bee, and the Cancer constellation is the Elizabeth line. As you see in London, the metro, it is the plasma event. There's the Elizabeth line. There's your plasma events. So we had the first door, and now that was the first door. It's a very long post. There you've got Queen Elizabeth, Giselle, G is L. So you've got Eve at the top, Lucifer, you've got Sophia in the middle, at the heart, the red work, the white work, and at the bottom, the black work, you've got Lilith. Pete, Paul and Jack, Free Willy, Free Paul, free will, do what thou wilt. Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley is the AC rising on the ascendant. So we know that the true ascendant is Aquarius, but they're taking over that ascendant. That's what Aleister Crowley represents, AC. Free Paul Watson is just the pole of the water sun. Okay, so that is the 24th. This is the shape-shifting passage that we're going through as we go. We've got Saturn, which is going from Aquarius to Pisces. We've got the North Node that will go from Pisces to Aquarius. They're going to cross each other in different directions. So I can't go over this all now. Free will, this is the Liber, this is the Libertines. That's what that represents. Giselle in the big rape case. It's incredibly eerie as I speak. It is so misty. Here is the Vesica Pisces, the L that we're passing, 37773, the name of that plane that's just crashed. O is 79, which is O, gold. So this is the sigil. So there's Jupiter expanded, there's Saturn contracted, and that are the gates that the Pope is opening, which is just, you know, your ability to open the third eye. There is the mascot of the Jubilee year, Lucy, and there is your Cairo, The film Lucifer Rising, Lucy, Mr. Tumnus, that is the merging of Mercury and Venus to make that Libra, Lucifer making Libra. So here we've got the elephant with its trunk down, that is the base chakra, and the elephant with the trunk up is the throat chakra, and this is the prison door that was opened on the 26th. And there is in the year 2015 that the Pope washed the feet to the Black Madonna and her son, and on the same day that we had Macron went to where we had the big storm, and you see him holding the Black Madonna. So we've got BM all over the French newspapers today. BM, Black Magic, Black Madonna, Bob Marley. BM, B is 2, M is 13, that makes 15. The devil card, and it also makes B, it can be the 13, so it's a play on Mary Magdalene being turned into the devil. So again, that merging of Virgo and Sagittarius. Virgo is the 6th house, Sagittarius is the 9th house, 69. So we've got, right now, we have, so that's the third door, 6996, and that is exactly what has happened. And I say that is big boom day. You've got your Janus, your 33, 29th, Pope Francis will open the holy door at Rome's Basilica, John Lantern. Okay. So it was on the 26th he opened the prison, 29th is John, and on that day we've got the moon right on the knee of Ophiuchus. So the 13th passage, the 13th sign, and the moon was bang on the knee, and there is that gap between Sagittarius and Scorpio, Taurus and Gemini. So new moon 30th of December, that's what we just had. Lazarus, I've done loads of posts about that. And there, so the 5th, oh, my mouse is not working. The famous 5, William Tell, boom. And I said that that was going to be big boom day, the 29th, and we had the plane that crashed, la boom. So we've seen all that. William's birthday, there he is getting his cloak like Saint Martin de Tours. That critical point in between the both. Jack and Rose. Jack, Jupiter, Rose in the house of Taurus at the moment, taking the rose. Jupiter ascending with the beehive. Rosemary's baby. The rose line is the Paris meridian, the meridian ley line that cuts through France up to Scotland. So there he is with the showing the new cross that's being made as we are in between high cardinal and mutable. So they want to block, as I've always showed you. Of the ledgers. So this is the true merging: Aquarius, Capricorn, Aries, Taurus, Scorpio, Libra, Cancer, and the moon. But we are being closed with Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn and Sagittarius, in Pisces and Aries, Libra and Virgo, and Cancer and Gemini. So Mars is currently going from Cancer back to Gemini. So they're merging us in this midway area. So here we are, the fourth door, the solemnity of Mary, the chalice. So New Year's Day. And this is what I was talking about: Lupiac, Lupercalia, the Louvre, Lupercalia, and this is what we have here: Mercury on Norma. Here's Norma, Lupus. Okay, let's carry on. So this is tomorrow. This is tomorrow, Romulus Remus. So we're going to have, as I said, Pluto and the moon conjunct. And this is the chart. So here, yeah, you're going to have to come and read it because I can't get into everything. So we've still got this rectangular going the whole way through all these 5 doors. But here's the moon and Pluto, both opposite Mars. So the moon that rules Cancer. And now we've got Mars at 6, so it's getting closer. And we've got Pluto at 5. So in 1 more degree, it's bang opposite. That will probably be for the last door. And Uranus fully in Aries now. So Mars rules Aries. The moon rules Cancer. The moon is in full in Capricorn because the moon rules Cancer. And we've got the sun in Sagittarius, Jupiter the ruler, where the moon is normally exalted, in Taurus. Venus rules Taurus, and now Venus is fully in Aquarius, making a square to Uranus, and Jupiter making a square to, as always, still that T-square to Mercury, still opposite to Jupiter. So Venus is an evening star. Venus makes the whale's tail, makes the Vesica pieces. Venus will go retrogrades in February in on the whale's tail, next to Neptune, next to North nodes, for the eclipses. We're going to have the eclipses. So then we come to the 5th door. And the 5th door reminds me, so there we had, for 2019, we had William Blake on the breast of Venus on St. Paul's Cathedral, just as Princess Diana walked up the aisle. She's got that Gemini Sagittarius opposition as well. And that is showing us exactly this last angle. So in that gap. So on January the 5th, the last corner, Horner humbled HH88 as Red Bull. So crowning Jupiter on the bullseye. The 88 constellations, as we've got Mars and Jupiter in the opposite signs of the Golden Gate in the female fertility. And you have to put your head into your bassin, into your depths, to close, to become, as we see that man closing on the wheel. Put the human body in the astrology wheel, the head to the feet. Pisces, Chiron is leaving Pisces, the feet, into the heads. So we had little Jack Horner sat in a corner. I explained in my videos the dreams I had. There you have Macron embracing the Black Madonna. That was Cyclone Kaido. So that is now showing, so what's that? That's the 5th, so that's the next. Le Bey, my surname is the B, Le B, B is 13, and in Hebrew, what does Hebrew leb mean? It means the heart. Inner man, mind, will, heart, understanding, inner part, mit. So the heart is the middle, the B, the heart. So there you've got Ophiuchus, the gatekeeper to this passage, and the Chi-Rho. So this is the 5th door. The 5th door, we have now the moon conjunct to Neptune and North Node. We've got, so Mars is now at 5 still and Pluto at 6. So maybe for the first quarter moon coming up. That rectangle is still there. Pluto, so nothing enormous has changed. What's important is where the moon is moving, changing. So now the moon goddess, Lucy Mr. Tumnus. Okay, so then that takes us to the last quarter moon on the 7th. So let's catch up with this. 5, the moon next to on the whale's tail. So this is where Venus will be, and she will go retrograde as just before the sun enters Aquarius. The sun enters Aquarius. Pisces, I mean. The sun enters Pisces on the 12th, on the 11th, 12th. So 311 is that gap between the ages always. And we're going to have Sun conjunct, and we're going to have Saturn entering Pisces as well. So Saturn, not quite yet. The sun is moving very fast, but here's Venus going retrograde. She goes retrograde from 25th, 26th, 27th. So around the 3-3, she starts to go retrograde. So back to now, back to, we're at 5. So that door is opened when the moon is conjunct Neptune North Node. And then we have the first quarter moon. So the first quarter moon, the moon is going to be on that V for victory, square to the sun, both in the home of Jupiter, Sagittarius, Pisces. Jupiter's fully on the bullseye for a while. Will be here until Valentine's Day. Mars is on his way back to Gemini. Mars, the ruler of Aries, where Uranus is now. The moon, ruler of Cancer. And we can see that here. So now we've got Saturn and Mars making a square to each other. Saturn, still making his square to Jupiter. We've got Mercury square to Neptune. We've got the moon square to the sun. So Lily is Scorpio, Rose is Taurus, and she has this big Dracula film that came out for its first screening on the 24th. So something to do with all the doors coming out on on Christmas Day, but it's all happening right now as Mercury and Jupiter are in Scorpio, Lily, Rose, Taurus. Okay, so let's have a look at the full moon. Full wolf moon, so taking us to the Lupercalia, to the she-wolf and her Romulus Remus twin. So we're going to have the moon and Mars. Mars is nearly back to Gemini, and moon and Mars meeting each other. So this full moon The moon is in Gemini. The sun is in Sagittarius. That's Romulus and Remus. And the sun is now very close to Pluto. So wowee. And now Mars. Mars is at 1 degree, so we've missed, it's before that, so we're going to have to, the day that they are absolutely opposite each other, let's have a look. Chart selection, transitions, we want to find where they're at 6-6, because that is going to be the big, so transitions, where are you? TTT. I've got transit, so let's put the 10th of January 2025, because we're just trying to find that exact opposition. We've then got Mars at 1 Cancer. Okay, well, how come? And Pluto at 6. No, well, he's gone too fast, so let's go back. Chart selection. We did see 7th for the first quarter. Yeah, okay. So I should have been looking there. 4 and Pluto at 6. Okay. So we probably right before 10. Mars is at 3. So actually 9, or it's 8. At 4. Okay. I'm getting confused. Let's not look. Somehow I can't quite find that 6-6, but it's. I think that I've probably passed it. Let's go back to now. Chart selection. Just what we're looking at. And this was the full moon on the 13th. So 13th of January 2025. Mars is then at 1, so that's why I was getting confused looking. So between we've got that 6-6 coming up, but now we've got Mars at the 1st degree of Cancer, we've got the moon at the last degree of Gemini, which might, yeah, right at the last degree. Let's come here. 13, moon on Pollux, Mars. And that is a big date as well, because, you know, that moon on the Boxer, Lord of the Rings, that full moon, wow. Saturn and Venus combust. Venus both square to Jupiter. Venus, the ruler of Taurus. And the sun still in, now we've got Mercury in full in Sagittarius. See it here. So Mercury in full, making a square to Uranus. So that's a lot of anger coming up. You know, this is really war coming in at the period that Uranus is in Aries. So significant, these doors being opened. It really, really is. And in this last axis of the coronavirus of Virgo, Pisces, black and white. Okay. So that's the full moon. And then the last quarter. So we're going to be going over everything. I'm doing this first now, and then I can go over some posts and show you some pictures. So last quarter moon on the 21st. Interesting. Yeah, well, Venus is next to Saturn from the full moon to the last quarter. Am I recording? Yes. The sun moves into Capricorn. The sun moves into Capricorn on the 19th, 20th, on the 20th, and then we've got the first quarter moon on the 21st. So the moon, the last quarter rather. So the moon, it must be in the evening, on the 21st at 9:30 p.m. So that moon is just at the end of Virgo, not quite in Libra, but still making that that square. Normally square is always cardinal to cardinal, but Virgo is a very big constellation. So Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, is in full. Moon, the ruler of Cancer, and now Mars is on Pollux. Mars is no longer in Cancer, on their way back to nearly Valentine's Day. And this was the time that Nicolas Bully went missing 2 years before. Venus, the ruler of Taurus, conjunct Saturn. So, you know, this is really making a square. You know, this is really the division of those who've made that lovely cap, that place of heaven, the Queen of Heaven, Inanna. Sun in the home of Saturn, and Saturn, the ruler, making a square with Venus to Jupiter. Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, and Mars, the ruler of Aries, where Uranus is. Okay, back here. So this last quarter moon, we've no longer got that rectangle. That rectangle is only for the 5 doors opening. But we have, so Mars in Gemini, Moon is actually here just at the end of Virgo. Mercury, the ruler, in full. Mercury making a trine to Uranus in Aries. And we've got this, you know, we've got this very masculine little sextile triangle between Mercury, Uranus trine, and the double sextile between Venus and Saturn. And between Mercury, but then a little semite square between Venus and Saturn and Pluto and the Sun. And now we've got Pluto and the Sun opposite Mars. So we had Pluto and the Moon opposite, and now we've got Pluto and the Sun opposite. Okay, let's have a quick look at some posts. So we've got the 26th of the 12th, so that is the 6, 2 and 6 is 8, and the 29th of the 12th, 29, that's the 9, 69, 99, plane crash. Okay, I don't know why that hasn't changed, because I changed that to 2629, Boeing 737, G is L, G is 7, Giselle Petticoat, 50 men guilty, 6, MBBM Black Madonna. Okay, let's go through the pictures. So 737, 179. There'll be a lot more to go into the longitude, latitude of the place, everything, but I got to stop somewhere. So there's the Vesica Pisces, 3773 is the L, and we've got the 737. And then we had Michel Barnier, MB, 73 years old. And then 90 days later, we had François Bayrou, 73 years old. So Gigi is 77, but it's also they're showing you is the 9, the 90-degree angles, the 90 red balloons. So there's your devil. That's your 15, the upside down pentagram, which is the opposite to the lovers. Love and hate. You've got to find that middle ground between those two opposing energies. 99, It's the passage we're going through between this is the 88, this is when you meet, it's to find the heart between the Aleph Tav. This is why we've got Uranus right at that point that makes the spirit between Aleph, Aries, Tav, Taurus, Aleph, Bet. These are pictures I did like 5 years ago. So you can see I'm showing the closing of the Cairo. One Chiron, another Chiron. I've got so much going on here. We've even got, I'm showing you the upside down Cairo, the upright, which is where we are. So you can have fun looking at that, but that was me showing all the L's. There's always one L missing. The wings of Lucifer, the diving duck, Aleph Tav, the dub L, the yin and the yang is the 66, the G, the 5-pointed star, the ladder, the I, the chemical sun and the moon meeting, and this last leg. There again are the sigils, the 5 doors, the key, the last key, the celestial virgin, the 51, the lovers, the 777. So the last time Mars was retrograde in Cancer, we had the Homeless Persons Act. This is also the period of Chiron, and that's why Prince William is now playing Mr. Tumnus, Saint Martin de Tours, saving the poor, creating a non-homeless. There's Nicola Bulli, the 101 passage, Narnia, At the Lamp, and these guys playing the summer-winter solstice. So he's 51, the Red Bull Chief, Christian Horner, little Jack Horner sat in a corner. So before I knew about these doors being opened, I had a very potent dream of a man sitting and kneeling at the northeast corner with 2 doors, one big yellow door, one black door full of ornaments. So just 2 doors, 4 corners. A man kneeling. To kneel is Neil, N-E-I-L, is the Nile. It's the line. And here we've got Elizabeth, the Elizabethan. She's got the red hair. They're showing you. It's the prison. This is the plane crash on the 26th. 38, 29. So 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 1, 1, 1, 1. It's your 4 legs, the armistice. And there we've got blue and white, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. Masculine, masculine, masculine. Feminine, over, rover. It's just the tail, the will.I.am telltale. So that went into a wall, or maybe it was the one that's just got, so there's something about a wall as well, which is interesting. So all that will be very important. 141, one for all and all for one. So that's, right now we are seeing the young female Mary Magdalene being turned into the whore of Babylon. So instead of MM, it's become BM. MB, BM, so M13, B2, but it's also 13, and the male into a nobody genderless entity. So, you know, basically you've got here Libra, Venus, Virgo, Mercury, this merging here. So it's always cardinal, mutable, cardinal, mutable, cardinal, mutable, cardinal, mutable, and that yellow and black making the B, and the fixed cross crucified in the middle, and the green man in this gap between Sagittarius and Scorpio and Gemini and Taurus. And this is where Mars is going retrograde, and this is where Jupiter is. Jupiter is here, Mars is here on the Silver Gate, and they normally rule the Golden Gate up here. Ophiuchus, Orion. Okay, just again, all the passage, the G, the yoni, this plane that I've been telling you that went missing, and now we've got the 737 MHL is the 3773. It's the cornerstone. We've got that last quarter moon on the 21st. Amygdala is Magdalene. This is Rose, Jack, and Rose. Got Jupiter in Taurus on the bullseye. Triple goddess. It's the 6-6. And remember, I've told you all about this road between Castres and Toulouse. Got the A69. Stop the yin and the yang, the true 69. Right, so that was the chart of the 26th, the opening of the prison, Rebibi. And then we had Mars at 8, and we had Pluto at 5. And here we've got Mars at 7 and Pluto at 5. So it's somewhere between then and now. In the next couple of days, we're going to have an exact 6-6. ZZ top, it's just the 7-7-7-7, 4 sevens at the top. Okay. This post, Julian Assange on the 24th, the day that the Pope opened the first, so the day that we had the moon in Virgo. I need to put more wood on my fire. It says here 4 centigrade, but it's much colder. On my car, it said it was 1. Right, so Julian Assange, Arse, Angle, Angel, 24th December, poses with the lamb to mark first Christmas since release. The lamp was already opened in 2020 when Saturn Jupiter combust on winter solstice 2112. The star of Be the Lamb, the thalamus, appeared in the sky. Today they are square. Saturn on the Lamb, Fomalhaut, Aquarius, spring equinox, and Jupiter on bullseye, Taurus, Aldebaran, summer solstice. Prince Will.i.am birthday, making the G is L, G is L, L. L7, G is L7, arse angle, blah, blah. Okay, so the New Jerusalem, but I saw no temple in the city because the Lord God Almighty, that was 22, and now then 23 last year, and the city has no need of the sun or moon to shine on it because the glory of God illuminates the city, and the Lamb is its lamp. And 24, by its light the nations will walk, and into it the kings of the earth will bring their glory. So that's what's happening now with those 5 gateways of the Pope. And then we've got Revelation 69, hallelujah, the marriage, the supper of the Lamb. Then I heard what seemed to be the voice of a great multitude, like the roar of many waters, and like the sound of mighty pearls of thunder crying out, hallelujah, for the Lord our God, the Almighty reigns. So you can read that. Let us rejoice and exult and give him the glory, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. It was granted her to clothe herself with fine linen, bright and pure. So we've got Mary. Maria will be open tomorrow. So the first door opened, Julian Assange with the Lamb, and tomorrow they open the gates to Maria. So the thalamus, that was the 24th when they opened. We've seen that. There is the moon combust Spica on the 24th. Mary had a little lamb, and moon rules Cancer, and we got Mars in, so he's born on the 21st. For that 24th, Mercury was right on Antares, Mercury was right on Norma then, and then the thalamus, the lamb post, Star of Bethlehem, and that's what we had on the 12th of the 21st of the 12th. And now we've got Mars and Jupiter on this silver moon, lunar, feminine gate. Mars in the home of the moon and moon on Spica. Venus was in Capricorn, so Venus in the home of Saturn. Venus and Saturn. Venus rules Taurus, Saturn rules Aquarius and Capricorn. So Ophiuchus, 13th sign, an interesting opposite 14th. I've said that Cetus was the 14th sign, but I found this image and that makes sense. Romulus and Remus. So the lamb and the lion lies down with the lamb. The lion, the Sphinx, used to be the ascendant, but now Aquarius will become the spring equinox. Famous five, those are the 5 doors being opened. Maria's tomorrow, and she will then birth the twins for the full moon. For the full moon, she births the twins, the wolf moon. Okay, so there you've got your elephant. When the trunk is lifted, your throat, and when it's closed, it closes your lower chakra. And I think that Mr. President, the cheese, this is the moon, the cheese. Save Willie, Will I Am, free will, do what thou will. This is the free will coming in. Worthy is the lamb, the breast. Dirty Diana is the dirty river for the Olympics. The Seine is the Seine. And there she is, Mary and her lamb, her thalamus. So that is not the true third eye. That is the, this is the this is the bull's eye. This is Taurus. The third eye is Aquarius, the lamb. But it's on this merging, when you find the mother again. So Venus and Mercury. When you find the silver gateway, you find the breast, you find the feminine. You find the true midnight express. See all those images. I always say this is Russia and Canada, the 5 kilometers, 55 kilometers. And there was a big 5-5. Was it the Pluto and Mars are both going to be on 5-5 or at 6-6 degrees? Okay. Post on the new moon yesterday. I'm going to write this into to go with the video. And I think we've seen, so you've got the Golden Gate, the Silver Gate, the rulers of the Golden Gate, Mars and Jupiter are now in the Silver Gate, giving us that closing of the Milky Way. There's the Milky Way, the Orus Boreas, the 88 constellations. That's the fog, that's a picture of yesterday. Now we're in the black, we're in the pitch black now. So Lazarus, Venus, black star, crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and the roots. Okay, I think that I'm showing you the pictures, but then you will be able to see. So, this V, Jupiter in the home of Venus. We've had 2 new moons in 1 month, one in Scorpio, one in Sagittarius. And the cycle, there he is, Jack and Rose. The key to the rose line. Lupercalia, the Empress, she's bets. So you're getting the gist now. Yellow, the T for Tesla, and the yellow. And there we've got the yellow sword in the stone, the Philosopher's Stone. Calia, the Cairo, the hair with the feather. You know, this is not the true air. The feather is the air. This is Jupiter in Taurus is the hair, and the true air is Saturn in Aquarius. They've got the telephone there as well. Hartley Hare, HH. Lord of the Rings, Paris, the boxing ring, Pollux, the squared circle, the Philosopher's Stone. Mr. Tumnus at the lamp, this is Chiron, and this is Chiron's last. It's the Cairo, and we come back onto the fixed cross, which is what's happening now. Chiron in Pisces, as Chiron moves from Pisces to Aries, and the North Node moves from Pisces to Aquarius, and Saturn moves to Aquarius. And next year, the North Node is in Aquarius, and the South Node is in Leo. I'll let you read all that. So this orbit, we've got Jupiter and Saturn, and there is the orbit of Chiron, which can only be found when you find that proper merging of Jupiter and Saturn. So Saturn in Aquarius, Jupiter on the bullseye. Jupiter's making the bullseye there. As Jupiter sits on the bullseye, Saturn on the spring equinox, the true ascendant, not Aleister Crowley, AC, but the true ascendant. And if you can make that connection of these three, you might just find Uranus, your conscious mind, and Neptune, your imagination, the closest you can get to your ethereal realm. And Pluto will be further out. So those summer, autumn, spring, winter triangles. And this is the two new moons we've just had in Scorpio and Sagittarius, and the passage through. Okay, one other post here. Abba, Uranus just got back to Aries today, the 29th. Aries, war, Aleph, fiery plane crash in South Korea, exactly as Uranus enters Aries. Uranus left Aries in May after 7 years in Gilet jaune, yellow fire, Aries, Ra. Uranus entered Les Agriculteurs, farmer, Taurus, Tav, Bet, Black Earth, and is now retro back to fire Aries until March 3/3/2025. Uranus is bang under Medusa, Algol, Spirit, fifth element for past year already, as in 1939, 1940 before World War II. Then is Taurus, Ra, Aries, L. Israel was created as Uranus left Taurus in 1947. Aries, Taurus with Algol in between, Medusa, Aleph, Tav is the quintessential fifth element. Appy, Abba, Happy, Abby, Pierre. I always tell you, in 1924, they wrote the book about Abby Pierre in my village, the five-pointed star, and now he has been fallen from grace, accused of rape and whatever. And so Abby is the Pierre, the stone. So they make everything, they make it bad as they do the plane crashes, so you don't find the true upright five-pointed star. That's why my village Enyon, the fifth point, is in the village AB, and Y for 216 somersault is a storm, wiped that village to the floor. AB, fifth element on Summit, yeah, William's birthday. Why he came to our village in 2016, 216, to the Well of the Dragon. We are the gap, hence why AB, and that's why we've got this motorway, the A69, running, and it goes from, and we've also got from Gimont, Giselle, we've got Gimont to Gimont to, I can't remember right now because I talk about it all the time, but it's too much for my brain right now. So this girl, Aurélie Adby, accused to put money in funds of Appy. All news is astrology, all of it. Tonight, Pope opens third door of the prison. Tomorrow, so that was a couple of days ago. So plain, Kiabi, I don't know who this person is. That was as the moon was just in Scorpio. So fiery plane crash kills 179. So Aleph Bet. It's my village, the 5-pointed star. That's where William and Kate came here to Puy-Draguin. And Ab is the top of the 5-pointed star. Abi, Kiabi, Ab. That's why they sung Appy for Rising Notre Dame. We've even got MM here. So Pope opens, that's Appy. And again, these pictures you've seen. Okay, darling. So basically, this month is getting very hot. It's the merging between the sun going from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is in the home of Venus, and Saturn is at home, and Venus, the ruler, is going to be next to Saturn from Venus is in Aquarius from today. So for this whole month, Venus is in Aquarius. When does Venus enter? Venus enters Pisces for just after the last quarter moon. So Venus has been in the home of Saturn since the rising of Notre Dame, since the new moon in Scorpio, the 1st of December. Then for the second new moon, she's just entered Aquarius, and then so she's in the home of Saturn, and Venus rules where Jupiter is, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Saturn rules Capricorn, where Venus is now next to Saturn. So, it's all about finding that true energy. Is your heart heavier than the feather? Between toxic love, toxic hate, between the lovers, Gemini, and the devil, Capricorn, as Mercury has been in Scorpio, and now Mercury is in detriment. Mercury moves into Sagittarius on the day they close the. So interesting, they're doing the opening and closing of doors the whole time that Mercury is in Scorpio, because that south node is in Virgo. Okay, darlings, I think I've covered enough. I will be back with a rundown of the next 2 weeks coming up for the 5th tier on next week, Monday. And this video is going to be open for everybody, everyone, all 3 members on Patreon. Okay, darlings, I love you very much. Bye for now. Happy New Year.